As I've said many times, it's a low self-esteem sports city. They overreact to everything. If you'd have told most Brown fans, you got to face Drew Brees, Big Ben twice, Phillip Rivers, and this loaded Charger team, the Ravens, and you'll be 2-5-1. You'd take it to the bank if you have a brain. You'd take it to the bank. The fact you're 2-5-1, you got to buy in 2 weeks, and you're firing your coach now. I don't think Hugh Jackson and Todd Haley are the reason they're losing. If they had a field goal kicker, they'd probably be, 4-3 or 4-4 if they had a field goal kicker. But Hugh Jackson's not good at the microphone. He's like John Gruden. He talks too much at a microphone. And so the optics, let's get rid of him. I'll tell you what I would do. Cleveland's a mess. This Baker Mayfield thing has to work. The only chance for the Cleveland Browns to end this 20-year, 2-decade abyss, the Baker Mayfield has to work. I'd go to Oklahoma and hire his coach, Lincoln Riley. There's a lot of rumors. One of my executive friends 2 weeks ago said, if Jason Garrett gets run out of Dallas, keep your eye on Lincoln Riley, the Oklahoma head coach. Lincoln Riley should be coaching in the NFL. He's wasting time at college. He's wasting his time. And nothing against Oklahoma. Oklahoma can win regardless of their coach. They've won with 6 different coaches. Lincoln Riley to the Cleveland Browns, and Oklahoma will be fine. They'll always be fine. It's like Ohio State. Regardless, they'll be fine. Cleveland's not fine without the right coach. They have a history of this. They work only in small doses. Go to Oklahoma. You get Lincoln Riley. That gives Baker Mayfield the greatest chance to succeed. John Dorsey's a GM. Listen, John, I don't agree with taking Baker Mayfield number 1, but the rest of his draft picks look pretty good. Denzel Ward looks pretty good to me. He's small. I'd rather take a big pass rusher, but looks pretty good to me. And so, I would not fire a coach now with Kansas City coming up in a bye in 2 weeks. I think you're at, you go look at Cincinnati. Everybody told me before the season Cincinnati was going to be great. I would be upset with Marvin Lewis. You keep telling, there are coaches in this league right now I wouldn't be happy with. Hugh Jackson, they're 2-5-1 with that schedule, with a rookie quarterback in a rebuild. It's not that terrible. And again, if they had a field goal kicker, they have one, probably 2 more wins. I mean, yesterday Baker Mayfield he couldn't do anything. He was getting crushed. They were just getting literally buried by a much better football team with Pittsburgh's defensive front overwhelmed the Browns. That's not on Hugh Jackson. They were just overwhelmed. Pittsburgh's got better personnel and a Hall of Fame quarterback and a coach that probably gets into the Hall of Fame. So we're still waiting for Peter King. I'll tell you, the Browns give me more free stuff than any team in the league. The Browns have they made me money this year. They've given me segments this year. They just fired a coach on a Monday. Go get Lincoln Riley. Solve this thing, because if the Baker thing doesn't work, it's another 10 years of embarrassment. But Lincoln plus Baker, that's his best chance to work at an elevated level. Let me go to this. There's something called empty calories. Empty calories, wasted calories. I'll give you an example. You ever seen a club sandwich? That middle row of bread always feels like wasted calorie. I've never eaten a club sandwich and said, you know what makes the club sandwich? The middle row of bread. There's enough bread. Give me more bacon. Give me more tomatoes. Give me more lettuce. Give me an avocado. It's like wasted calories. I don't need a sandwich with more bread. I don't need more bread in my club sandwich. Just make me a better BLT. It's wasted calories. Kirk Cousins, quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings, always feels like empty calories to me. He gives me yards, he gives me completions, he gives me stats, but he can't make the play in the moment to produce the win. Green Bay tied, should have won. Last night, home Saints really dominated. Rams played great, dominated. You ever notice that? He's like empty calories. The club sandwich is fine without that middle row of bread. It's called a BLT. They're even better. And when I watch Kirk Cousins, well, he's second in the league in this, and third in the league in this, and fourth in the league in this. And I get all the yards, and I get all the completions. I look at the box score this morning. Oh, good God. It's like, woo, Kirk Cousins is great. That Breeze guy, he didn't do anything. First downs, Vikings, yards, passing yards, yards play, Vikings. But here's all you need to know. Here's what the box score doesn't say. It was 30-13 Saints with 9.5 minutes left in Minnesota. That game, second half, it was over. Couldn't give me all the yards and all the stats. Kirk Cousins is now 4-21 in the 25 times he's played a team that's 500 or better. He's 4-21, and they all look the same. He's fine. I mean, against the Rams, it was pretty good. Yesterday, it was pretty good. And I watched him against Green Bay, and I'm like, he's pretty good. I'm not paying you $30 a year to be pretty good. You got to win these games. He's like the opposite of Aaron Rodgers. A lot of times Aaron's game won't look pretty, but in the fourth quarter, 2 minutes to go in a drive, I want Aaron Rodgers on the field. If I said to you, 2 minutes to go, line up the quarterbacks you want. I've seen Cam Newton last couple of weeks done it. I've seen Tom Brady do it. I've seen Drew Brees do it. I've seen Big Ben do it. I've seen Phillip Rivers do it. I've seen Goff do it against Seattle. Boom, boom. How far would you go down the list before Kirk Cousins jersey guy walked in the room and go, you got my guy? It's not that he can't play. But how far would you go down the line if I said 2 minutes to go? Because that's the NFL. That's how Super Bowls end. New England's been in 8 Super Bowls. All 8 have ended on the last possession. That's how Super Bowls end. The last one did, the next one will. So that's what it's about. It's not about yards. It's not about completions. Kirk Cousins feels like empty calories to me. He is that middle slice of bread in the club sandwich. But, Colin, that's what makes it a club sandwich. That's why I don't order them. That's why I order BLTs. I want more bacon, more tomatoes. I want an avocado. Give me some mayonnaise in there. I don't need the extra bread. A BLT's got more than enough bread. I don't need an extra layer of bread. And I don't need more yards and completions. I need wins here. I don't want to get fired. I need wins here, and I'm not getting them with Kirk Cousins. Redskins now, by the way, Joey, lead their division without him, and Minnesota's worse with him. But he's got yards. He's got completions. Joey Taylor with the news.
No. Heard on the news. This is the Herdline News.
He also gives great speeches.
He gives great speeches. He is a great speaker.
So in the intangible department,
he's great.
It's like really, really good Brett.
Yeah.
All right. So first, Ty Montgomery made a mistake for the ages yesterday when he decided to run the ball out of the end zone on a kickoff return instead of taking a knee. That fumble prevented the king of clutch, Aaron Rodgers, from getting a chance to win the game. So an anonymous Packer had more insight on Montgomery's decision. He told Mike Silver of NFL.com they took him out on the previous drive for a play, and he slammed his helmet and threw a fit. Then before the kickoff, they told him to take a knee, and he ran it out anyway. You know what that was? That was him saying, I'm going to do me. It's a bleeping joke. The player also added, I mean, what the bleep are you doing? You've got Aaron Rodgers, the best I've ever seen. You're going to take that risk. I mean, it's 12. All you have to do is give him the ball, and you know what's going to happen, which is basically what everyone else in the entire world felt when they saw him fumble that ball.
I mean, for Ty Montgomery went to Stanford. He's a smart dude. He's been in the league. He's a smart dude. This is a good football operation. Aaron Rodgers needs a field goal.
I mean, that's just an ego play there.
That's a total ego. It's like Ty. You're a smart dude.
I mean, it's textbook. Like the only thing that you have to do in that situation is not make the exact mistake that you made, and you did it because of ego.
Yes.
Because there's no way that the coach didn't tell you to take a knee. The coach shouldn't even have to tell you to take a knee in that situation. This is your job. You know that you're supposed to take a knee and give the ball to Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
And instead, so it really is your fault.
Yes.
I mean, there's rare situations in a game where you're like, no, that's on you. Like, it's not the very end of the game. You're not scrambling, trying to make something happen in the last second and you make a mistake. There's 2 minutes left and you have a timeout. You have to give Aaron Rodgers the ball.
That's called football, bad situational football. Gurley, 52 seconds later, great situational football. And again, I'll say it, this is not college football. These NFL games between these top teams, Joy, they're all decided like this. I mean, last year, Philadelphia wins the Super Bowl. The New England game, Brady has the ball with a minute left. The Atlanta game, Julio Jones in the end zone corner. You can lose that. I mean, you just forget. This is not college football. Situations win games.
It's really not who wins the game. It's who doesn't mess up.
Mostly.
And
late.
And you had the opportunity to not mess up. It could have not been on you. So sticking with that game, which you just mentioned, Todd Gurley drew the ire of fantasy football and Vegas critics after his decision to stop short of the goal line instead of scoring another touchdown. And here is Gurley on that decision.
Well, that's a big win. Your fantasy people might not be happy though with the ending there.
Nah, forget fantasy and forget Vegas today. We got the win, so that's all that matters.
Yeah. And listen, I bet football games, and I couldn't care less. If I got more of that from players, this is kind of reminds me of what the Steelers have struggled with this year. they've had a little too much me over we. And it's really cool that in a city like LA, which elevates stars, that the MVP of your football team's like, no, I'm good. I don't need to score. It's not about me. It's about us. I love that.
Forget the MVP of the football team. He may be the MVP of the league this year. But that's the whole beat the Rams have this year, though. That's why we're always talking about how you don't see them out and you don't hear a lot from them, because they're all really on the same page, and that's the reason why they're winning. Like they all are all adapting that Belichickian one goal, one voice thing. And that's a perfect example of that. I mean, that is a complete contrast of what happened with the Packers and the Rams in that situation. Also, I mean, look, I play fantasy football. I don't gamble, but I play fantasy football. I can assure you, they don't care.
Yeah.
At all. Finally, the Cavs announced the firing of Ty Lue yesterday. He talks about it at the beginning of the show. Both those Cleveland teams are without coaches right now. They added Larry Drew would take over as the interim head coach. And according to Joe Varden of The Athletic, Cav players are not happy about the decision. Sources told Varden the players are pissed. Lue's a players coach who is partial to veterans, and his partiality toward them might have played a role in his dismissal. Kobe Altman and Lue have been at loggerheads over playing time and the general direction of the team since the start of training camp. They are 0-6, and they last lost to the Pacers 119-107. So I can't say that I'm surprised, although the firing of Ty Lue 6 games into the season